Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim and in today's video we are going to learn how to use Olla, Menossa, Aikoa, Mennä and Mennä in a sentence. This video is split into 5 parts. First we're going to start with Mennä because it's the easiest one. Then we carry on with chapter 2, which is about Aikoa Mennä, followed by chapter 3 where we are going to focus on the meaning of Olla, Menossa. Then in chapter 4 we have an overview where we are going to compare all 3 of them with each other. Then in our final chapter number 5 we will as always practice what we've learned today by solving some exercises together. By the way, in all chapters we are going to focus on the theory, go through some example sentences, learn how to negate sentences and finally also cover the conjugations. So let's start with our first one. Our first one is Mennä. It means to go and it's used to express a movement or travel in a broad sense, referring to heading to a destination or moving towards a place. So to put it simply, Mennä means that you go somewhere. Also important to know is that the verb mennä is not inherently tied to a specific time frame unless it's clarified by an additional time expression. So that means it could be referring to an action that takes place now, soon, or at some point in the future. So again, to put it simply, using mennä doesn't necessarily imply when we go somewhere. In other words, we could be going somewhere in 2 hours, tomorrow, or maybe even next year. So the time frame is still kinda open. Now let's take a look at some easy examples. Our first one is Minä menen postiin, means I'm going to the post office. So let's go step by step. Minä means I. Menen is the first person singular present tense of the verb mennä, which means to go, and postiin means to the post office. It's the ilative case of posti. So here in this sentence we used menen, which means I go, which also shows that we didn't imply when we go to the post office. So that could be, for example, in 20 minutes, tomorrow, or even next week. Minä menen postiin. I'm going to the post office. Alright, let's carry on. Next example. Torstaina menen kirjastoon lukemaan means on Thursday I go to the library to read. So let's go step by step. Torstaina means on Thursday. Menen is the first person singular present tense of the verb mennä, which means to go. So menen, I go. Kirjastoon means to the library, ilative case of kirjasto, and lukemaan means in order to read. It's the third infinitive ilative of the verb lukea, which means to read. So here in this sentence, menen expresses that the action, which is me going to the library, will take place on that Thursday. However, the exact moment or time is still open. So that means I could go to the library at any point on Thursday. However, at least it's planned for Thursday. So let's repeat again. Torstaina menen kirjastoon lukemaan. On Thursday, I go to the library to read. Alright, now as already mentioned at the beginning, we will also take a look at the negative sentences. But before we start with it, let's take a quick look at the conjugations. First, the positive ones. Minä menen means I go. Sinä menet, you go. Hän menee means he or she goes. Me menemme, we go. Te menette, you go, plural, and he menevät means they go. Now the negative ones. Minä en mene means I don't go. Sinä et mene, you don't go. Hän ei mene, he or she doesn't go. Me emme mene, we don't go. Te ette mene, you don't go, plural. And he eivät mene means they don't go. So let's take a quick look at the structure again. So it's either en et ei or emme, ette or eivät. They do inflect according to the person plus menne, which always stays the same. Now let's take a look at the negative sentences. To better show the contrast, let's practice on the sentences we had before. So our first one was Minä menen postiin, which means I'm going to the post office. The negative form is Minä en mene postiin, which means I'm not going to the post office. So minä means I, en mene, I don't go. En is our negative verb standing in the first person singular. Mennä is the infinitive stem, and postiin is the ilative case of posti, meaning post office. Let's repeat again. Minä menen postiin. I go to the post office. Minä en mene postiin. I don't go to the post office. We carry on. Our second one was torstaina menen kirjastoon lukemaan, which means on Thursday I go to the library to read. Now when we negate it, we have torstaina en mene kirjastoon lukemaan, which means I'm not going to the library to read on Thursday. Alright? Torstaina on Thursday, en mene, I don't go, kirjastoon, to the library, lukemaan, in order to read. Torstaina en mene kirjastoon lukemaan. On Thursday, I'm not going to the library to read. Nice! We carry on with chapter 2, Aikoa Mennä. This one builds on Mennä by adding a layer of intention or future planning. So Aikoa itself means to intend to or to plan to. So Aikoa Mennä is used to talk about where you intend to go or where you plan to go. For example, when you're talking about your summer plans. Also important to know is that Aikoa is affected by the consonant gradation, which we will learn more about later in the conjugation section. Before we take a look at the examples, here's also a quick note about grammar. Aikoa inflects according to the person, while the second verb, which is mennä here, stays in its infinitive form. What's the infinitive form? It's the basic form. For better understanding, let's take a look at some examples. Here our first one is ensi perjantaina aion mennä kirjastoon, means next Friday I intend to go to the library. Let's go step by step. Ensi perjantaina means next Friday or on next Friday. Aion mennä means I intend to go. So aion is the first person singular present tense of the verb aikoa, and mennä stays here in its infinitive form. And kirjastoon means to the library, it's the ilative case. So what's interesting here? Aion in English is often translated as I will, but actually it's a bit stronger than just a future tense. It's about a planned intention. So with this sentence, I express a planned future action. I intend to go to the library next Friday. So the combination of aion, which means I intend, with mennä, which means to go, emphasizes that this is a specific plan or intention I have. So let's repeat again. Ensi perjantaina aion mennä kirjastoon. Next Friday I intend to go to the library. Next one. Tytö aikoo mennä kukkakaupasta karkkikauppaan, means the girl intends to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. So let's go step by step. Tyttö means girl. Aikoo mennä means intends to go. Kukkakaupasta means from the flower store, from the flower shop. It's the elative case of kukkakauppa, which means flower shop. And karkkikauppaan means to the candy shop, elative case. So what is the sentence about? Here we are expressing that the girl plans to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. So with the structure using aikoa, we do express the girl's intention. With mennä, we indicate the action of going. And with the cases, elative and elative, we specify where she's coming from and where she's going to. So let's repeat again. Tytö aikoo mennä kukkakaupasta karkkikauppaan. The girl intends to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. One more. Viikonloppuna aiomme mennä baariin. Means on the weekend we intend to go to the bar. Let's go step by step. Viikonloppuna means on the weekend. Aiomme mennä means we intend to go. Baariin means to the bar, elative case. So here the sentence basically expresses a plan or our intention for the weekend, which is going to the bar. Alright, so let's repeat again. Viikonloppuna aiomme mennä baariin. On the weekend, we intend to go to the bar. Alright, so before we carry on with the negative sentences, let's take a quick look at the conjugations. Again, positive and negative. So, minä aion mennä means I intend to go. Sinä aiot mennä means you intend to go. Hän aikoo mennä means he or she intends to go. Me aiomme mennä means we intend to go. Te aiotte mennä, you intend to go, plural. And he aikovat mennä means they intend to go. Now the negative forms. Minä en aio mennä means I don't intend to go. Sinä et aio mennä means you don't intend to go. Hän ei aio mennä means he or she doesn't intend to go. Me emme aio mennä means we don't intend to go. Te ette aio mennä means you don't intend to go, plural. And he eivät aio mennä means they don't intend to go. So as you see, negating Aikoa mennä is pretty easy. It's either en et ei or emme ette eivät plus aio plus mennä. Now, since we know the negative forms, we can finally carry on with the negative sentences. Again, also here, let's take for better clarity the sentences we had before. Let's take a look at the examples. Remember maybe? The first one was ensi perjantaina aion mennä kirjastoon, which means next Friday I intend to go to the library. Now, when we want to negate it, then it's ensi perjantaina en aio mennä kirjastoon. Next Friday, I don't intend to go to the library. So as you see here, en is the first person singular negative form. Then we carry on with aio and mennä, which keeps standing here in its infinitive form. So let's repeat again. Ensi perjantaina en aio mennä kirjastoon. Next Friday, I don't intend to go to the library. Next one, number 2, was tytö aikoo mennä kukkakaupasta karkkikauppaan, which means the girl intends to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. So when we want to negate this sentence, then we have tyttö ei aio mennä kukkakaupasta karkkikauppaan, which means the girl doesn't intend to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. So here when we take a closer look, we have a, which is the third person singular negative form, and then we have again aio plus mennä. Let's repeat again. Tyttö ei aio mennä kukkakaupasta karkkikauppaan. The girl doesn't intend to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. The girl is not going to go from the flower shop to the candy shop. Next one, number 3, was viikonloppuna aiomme mennä baariin, which means on the weekend we intend to go to the bar. Now, when we want to negate it, then it is viikonloppuna emme aio mennä baariin, which means we are not going to go to the bar on the weekend, or we don't intend to go to the bar on the weekend. Let's take a closer look. Here we have emme, which is the negative form of the first person plural. And then we have again aio plus mennä. So let's repeat again. Viikonloppuna emme aio mennä baariin. On the weekend, we are not going to go to the bar, or we don't intend to go to the bar on the weekend. Alright, now we move on to number 3, which is olla menossa. So olla menossa literally means to be going or to be underway. So olla menossa conveys a sense of being in the process of going somewhere or being on the way to a place. It describes an ongoing action rather than just a simple intention or future plan. So in easier words, olla menossa, which means to be on the way or to be going, shows that the action is happening right now, like you're already in the process of going somewhere. It's not just a plan or intention, but something that's actually happening at the moment. Let's take a look at some examples. Our first one is olen menossa Lontooseen means I'm on the way to London. So olen menossa means I'm on the way, I'm about to go. And Lontooseen means to London, ilative case. So this sentence expresses that I'm currently in the process of going to London. So using olla menossa here emphasizes that the action of me going to London is already ongoing, conveying that I'm actively in motion or about to leave for London. So let's repeat again. Olen menossa Lontooseen. I'm on the way to London. Next one, also a very common phrase. Minä olen menossa kotiin. Minä olen menossa kotiin means I'm on the way home or I'm on my way home. So minä means I, olen menossa can be understood as I'm already on the way, and kotiin is the ilative case, literally means to home. So this sentence expresses that I'm currently in the process of going home or I'm on the way home. So the use of olla menossa here shows that the action is ongoing or happening right now. So let's repeat again. Minä olen menossa kotiin. Let's carry on with the next example. Minä olen menossa kurssille opiskelemaan suomea means I'm on my way to the course to study Finnish. So minä means I, olen menossa means I'm on my way, kurssille means to the course, allative case. Opiskelemaan means in order to study. It's the third infinitive illative of the verb opiskella, which means to study, and suomea means Finnish, standing here in the partitive case. So here we use the structure olla menossa in order to emphasize that the action of me going to the course is already ongoing or something that I'm in the process of doing. And with opiskelemaan, I introduce the purpose of going. I'm going to the course in order to study Finnish. So let's repeat again. Minä olen menossa kurssille opiskelemaan suomea. I'm on my way to the course to study Finnish. One more. Mihin olet menossa? This one is a very common question when you want to know where they are headed to or what the destination is. Mihin olet menossa? Where are you going to? Or literally, where are you about to go? Alright, before we carry on with the negative sentences, let's take a quick look again at the conjugations for olla menossa. We start with the positive ones. Minä olen menossa can be translated as I'm on my way. Sinä olet menossa, you're on your way. Hän on menossa, he or she is on the way. Me olemme menossa, we're on our way. Te olette menossa, you're on your way, plural. And he ovat menossa means they are on their way. Now the negative ones. Minä en ole menossa, I'm not on my way. Sinä et ole menossa, you're not on your way. Hän ei ole menossa, he or she is not on the way. Me emme ole menossa, we are not on our way. Te ette ole menossa, you're not on your way, plural. And he eivät ole menossa means they are not on their way. Let's take a quick look again at the negative structure. So it's either en, et, ei, or emme, ette, or eivät, which do inflect according to the person, plus ole plus menossa. As you can also see here, ole plus menossa do not change here. So with this knowledge, we can finally form the negative sentences. Also here, in order to practice, we take the previous sentences. So our first one was olen menossa Lontooseen, which means I'm on my way to London. The negative one would be en ole menossa Lontooseen, which means I'm not on the way to London, I'm not on my way to London. En here is the first person singular negative form. Ole is our stem and menossa stays the same, and Lontooseen means to London, ilative case. Let's repeat again. En ole menossa Lontooseen. I'm not on my way to London. Next one, number 2, was minä olen menossa kotiin, which means I'm on my way home. The negative one would be minä en ole menossa kotiin. So pretty much like the one before. Minä en ole menossa kotiin. I'm not on my way home. Alright? And our third one was minä olen menossa kurssille opiskelemaan suomea, which means I'm on my way to the course to study Finnish. The negative form is minä en ole menossa kurssille opiskelemaan suomea, which means I'm not on my way to the course to study Finnish. Nice, now we arrived at chapter 4, the overview. So let's compare. Our first one was mennä, which means to go. For example, minä menen postiin, which means I go to the post office. So it could be now or at some point in the future, for example, in 2 hours. Our second one was Aikoa mennä, which means to intend to go to. For example, minä aion mennä postiin, which means I intend to go to the post office. So in other words, I'm planning to go to the post office at some point in the future. And the third one was olla menossa, which means to be on the way. For example, olen menossa postiin, which means I'm on the way to the post office. So in other words, means I'm already on the way or I'm about to go to the post office. Now we arrived at our last chapter for today, the exercises. For each answer we have 5 seconds. So let's do it. Fill in the gaps. We want to say he or she goes to the store to buy food. Hän kauppaan ostamaan ruokaa. Choose the correct verb and also put it into its correct form. That's right. The answer is hän menee kauppaan ostamaan ruokaa. He or she goes to the store to buy food. Why mennä? Because we just say he or she goes to the store. Of course, you can also say hän on menossa kauppaan, but that would rather mean that he's already on his way to the store. Alright, next one. Also here we have to fill in the gaps. We want to say, next summer I intend to go to Leicester. In Finnish, ensi kesänä, Choose the correct verb and also put it into its correct form. Very nice. The answer is, ensi kesänä aion mennä Leicesteriin, which means next summer I intend to go to Leicester. So why do we use Aikoa mennä here? Because with this sentence we are expressing our intention to go to Leicester next summer. Alright, next one. We want to say I was actually on my way to the library. Minä itse asiassa kirjastoon. Hint, look at the tense. I was actually on my way to the library. So what do we need here? Choose the correct verb and also put it into its correct form. That's perfect. The answer is minä olin itse asiassa menossa kirjastoon. I was actually on my way to the library. So here we use olla menossa, but in the past tense, first person singular. That's why we say olin menossa. I was actually on my way to the library. By the way, itse asiassa means actually or in fact. Now let's repeat again. Minä olin itse asiassa menossa kirjastoon. I was actually on my way to the library. Alright, next one. We wanna say, next Friday I don't intend to go to the library. Ensi perjantaina kirjastoon. Here we have to fill in 3 gaps. What do we need here? Very nice. The answer is en aio mennä. So the whole sentence is ensi perjantaina en aio mennä kirjastoon. Next Friday I don't intend to go to the library. And our final exercise for today. Form the first person singular present tense, positive and negative, of mennä, aikoa mennä, and olla menossa. Alright, let's compare our solutions. So the first person singular present tense positive and negative of Mennä is minä menen, which means I go, versus minä en mene, which means I don't go. Then we have Aikoa mennä. The first person singular present tense is minä aion mennä, which means I intend to go, versus minä en aio mennä, I don't intend to go. And our last one, which is olla menossa. The first person singular present tense positive is minä olen menossa, which means I'm on the way, I'm on my way, versus the negative one, which is minä en ole menossa, which means I'm not on the way or I'm not on my way. So that's it for today. I hope you liked this video. If you want to learn more Finnish, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day and see you next time.